Good day everyone. So now I will discuss you the introduction to general psychology. What is general psychology? General psychology lays the foundation for understanding the fascinating world of the human mind. It delves into the core principles that govern how we think, feel, learn, behave, and interact with the world around us. These are the main feature of general psychology: the broad scope, scientific approach, normality and abnormality, theoretical frameworks. There are there are important sub-areas in general psychology. It involves learning, memory, cognitive psychology, motivation and emotion, sensation and perception, developmental psychology, social psychology, and personality psychology. The key concept in general psychology, it involves cognitive load, cognitive bias, heuristics, operant conditioning, classical conditioning, personal traits, social learning theory. These are the influential figures in general psychology. It involves Wilhelm Wundt, psychologist, Sigmund Freud, psychoanalyst, B.F. Skinner, psychologist, Carl Jung, psychoanalyst, and Abraham Maslow, psychologist. How is general psychology applied in practice? It involves education, workplace psychology, marketing and advertising, human-computer interaction, legal system, understanding memory. Example is general psychology principles applied to everyday life in areas like health, communication, decision-making, and motivation. For example, behavioral psychology principle help establish new routines, while an understanding of stress-related behaviors can explain why people crave high calories food under pressure. Concepts like confirmation bias influence our daily information gathering and social interactions.
So, neuroscience and behavior is the scientific study of the nervous system and mental functions. It covers how the brain functions, how memories are formed, and how they can be retrieved. So, what is behavioral neuroscience? Behavior is a set or pattern of action or activities that can be classified as normal or abnormal. Behavioral neuroscience is the study of the neural basis of behavior or how the brain managed to produce certain actions and sensations. Developmental psychology, exploring developmental biologies such as neurogenesis, plasticity, and genomic imprinting. Translational neuroscience, study on how our understanding of brain function can be translated into treatments for psychiatric disorders and mental health concerns. So there are examples of neuroscience and behavior are applied in real life through habit formation, which uses brain pathways to make actions like driving automatic, and through understanding mental health, which involves the study of brain chemistry like dopamine in addiction or serotonin in depression.
Habit formation and cognitive efficiency. There are types of habit formation and cognitive efficiency. First is the automatic routines. Second is the reinforcement. And for the mental health and well-being, there are depression, anxiety, addiction, and dementia. For learning education, there are learning differences, lifelong learning, and for the personal and social behavior, there are brain injury.
Developmental psychology. Developmental psychology is a study of how people grow and change physically, cognitively, emotionally, and socially throughout their lives. Developmental psychologists help identify and address developmental problems to support growth and prevent issues like depression and low self-esteem. Psychologists strive to understand and explain how and why people change throughout life. Principle of normative development with a specific milestone help professionals spot potential problems and provide early intervention for better outcomes. Some of the many issues developmental psychology assessed would include cognitive development during childhood and throughout life, developmental challenges and learning disabilities, emotional development, language acquisition, moral reasoning, motor skill development, personality development, skill awareness and self-concept, social and cultural influence on child development. Developmental psychology theories. Developmental psychologists often consider a wide array of theories to consider different aspects in human development. A few examples are listed below: cognitive development, attachment, personality, social and emotional growth. Each approach tends to stress different aspects in development such as mental, parental, social, and environmental influence on children's growth and progress.
So, developmental psychology stages. As you might imagine, developmental psychologists often break down development according to various phases of life. Each of these periods of development represents a time when different milestones are typically achieved. So the first is the prenatal development. Developmental psychologists are interested in the prenatal period, seeking to understand how the earliest influences on development can impact later growth during childhood. So the second is early childhood development. The period from infancy through early childhood is a time of remarkable growth and change. So the middle childhood development. This period of development is marked by both physical maturation and the increased importance of social influences as children make their way through elementary school. So, adolescent development. The teenage years are often the subject of considerable interest as children experience the psychological turmoil and transition that often accompanies this period of development. So, middle adult development. This stage of life tends to center on developing a sense of purpose and contributing to society. So, older adult development. The senior years are often viewed as a period of poor health, yet many older adults can remain active and busy well into their 80s and 90s. So, examples of developmental psychology. So, developmental psychology is applied in real life through education, where teachers adapt lessons to different age groups, and in parenting, where parents tailor their approaches to a child's development stage. It is also used in healthcare to identify developmental delays, and in public policy to design programs that support child and adolescent growth. So that's all. Thank you.
Learning and conditioning. In psychology, learning and conditioning refer to changes in behavior resulting from experience, specifically by forming associations between stimuli and response or between behaviors and their consequences. Classical conditioning. This type of learning, also known as Pavlovian conditioning, involves associating a previously neutral stimulus with naturally occurring stimulus. There are types of conditioning: unconditioned stimulus or US, unconditioned response or UR, neutral stimulus or NS, conditioned stimulus or CS, conditioned response or CR.
So let's proceed to the operant conditioning. This form of associative learning focuses on how the consequences of behavior influence the likelihood of that behavior occurring again. So there's 4 types of operant conditioning. We have the positive reinforcement, the negative reinforcement, positive punishment, and lastly, the negative punishment. So let's proceed to the example provided. So for example, a student who studies hard and receive a high grade, it is positive reinforcement. It's because it's more likely to study hard again. Conversely, a child who jumps on the table might be sprayed with water. Positive punishment is that making them less likely to repeat the behavior. Behaviorism and conditioning. Conditioning is central to behavioral psychology, which emphasizes the study of observable behaviors rather than internal mental states. Researchers focus on what could be measured and observed in experiments, leading to the development of these theories of learning. Other forms of learning. While classical and operant conditioning are key, the psychology of learning also includes other phenomena such as observational learning, which involves learning by watching others. Learning is broad, field that continues to involve and explore the many factors that influence how and what people learn.